face a new challenge, far, far away. Thrill of the fight as we fight to survive, for honor and glory, strong as a knight. Nothing can break us down, we will all wear a crown. We are unstoppable, we're proud like armor and shield, we are unbreakable.
A lot of that 1v1 kill potential, maybe she has, but in this game, it really doesn't work. But either way, we will be looking at the draft soon, because I think the players are ready. And right now, we will be going again to the casters to continue with our match. So casters, please take it away.
Once again, welcome back to the Caster's Desk. This is the World Championship for the Mobile Legends BangBang M2 2020. It definitely has been quite the journey. And speaking of journey, we'd like to thank Tumi for being the partners in esports for M2, as the journey to become the champions of M2 has been perfected with the latest Tumi luggage and backpacks. You can bring your gear anywhere with you safely without any sort of worries at all. And of course, I forgot, be sure to check out Tumi.com to perfect your own journey and enjoy the M2 competition.
Hey.
Never forget.
Never forget.
An established distributor of many well-consumed and loved brands around Asia, SUTL Group is a proud 2021 MLBB partner in esports for Fiji Water, Ike Chong's It's Cups, and Mountain Dew. To find out more, visit www.sutl.com.
That's right, and you guys better keep your eyes open and catch the live stream of this mega event. Mobile Legends BangBang M2 World Championship 2020 is held in Singapore for free on MeWatch. And we've seen 12 teams playing in action here in the M2 from 9 different countries competing for $300,000 US.
Now down to 2 teams, 2 countries, fighting for the lion's share of 300,000 big ones, and as well a go at that trophy. Is it there? Yeah, it's there. Right there.
It's visible.
Right.
It's visible here.
It's huge, by the way. Weighs a few kilograms, if I'm not mistaken.
Honestly, I don't know how much is the exact weight, but oh man, these players, they're ready to just grab it off of that turret that's placed in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the biceps on the guy who had to put it up there already was pretty impressive. But speaking of which, in this game, it's going to be pretty difficult. I would say it's about either or for Bren and Burmese Ghouls at this point in time, because it's not just about execution, because execution doesn't seem to be lacking on either side. It really does come down to those small micro and macro decisions at the end of the day.
They can actually, Burmese Ghouls, they can actually adapt quite fast, because thinking about it, Bren picked Claude twice into the series, so you would expect that there is going to be an answer. Coming out here from the side of Burmese Ghouls, but at this point on game number 3, they just went all out on that certain Claude pick. They shut it down so well, and Bren has to show something new.
Yeah, and of course, now they've already pulled out the card of the Fighter Cho in this sort of sense. So I'm expecting that, you know, Bren wants to do something about that. Honestly, not really something that you want to ban out in the first phase anyways, because that's going to be opening up a lot of priorities. But in phase number 2, we saw so many diversity going on in that previous game, which led up to many of all these choices being opened up, and Burmese Ghouls were really happy when they got this Cho in.
I think they have to start thinking about the draft a little differently here, because again, now there's these 2 new priority picks that have come out more times than they should, which is going to be the Diggy and as well as the Boxia, which has changed a lot, because I mean, coaches come in with a set line of drafts. It can only go a certain different way depending on what the first 3 picks are going to be. So now that they have to do something else, it really is just a battle of wits here.
Not only is it a battle of wits, it's also a battle night, as today we are very pleased to announce the launch of the new anniversary season of Magic Chess Blazing Hammer. The new adventure will officially begin on January 30th, coming pretty soon in a week. So there's going to be the new upgrade system, Blessing, little commander and map, as well as synergies being revamped. And with that, there's a free trial of advanced skins awaiting for all of you guys to just get your hands on. So make sure you log in on 30th January for Battle 9.
Did you mention Magic Chess? Is that a new season, really? Is that what Blazing Hammer is?
I believe so.
I'm so excited. After M2, after I'll take a break from all of this high-tier, hot action that's just all about the MLBB 5v5. I can't wait to get some Magic Chess on. Now about a minute away from the draft again. I agree, Gideon, Butters, Contra, that we are going to see Diggy and Baksha banned. If you don't ban that, obviously a risk. Now where do you go from there? Do you stop these weird pick-off lineups? How do you even do that?
I think it's one of those things where it's now you're kind of forced into this corner where you have to start learning your opponent's strategy. For Bren, they got to figure out how exactly and what conditions need to be right to pull off this Diggy with the Aegis. And the same goes for the Burmese Ghouls. And I think it's slightly easier for them because we have seen them play Baxia before. So it's kind of on Bren here to figure out the Diggy pick because they can force it on. They can force it into the draft. And Burmese Ghouls, if they allow the Baxia to go through, either Bren or the Burmese Ghouls is going to nab it up, and again, it's shooting up towards that first pick.
Yeah. Considering Rebo's hero for game number 3, I don't think that was the best. I mean, he knows how to use the Kagura, that's for sure. But there are a lot more mages that could be utilized for Rebo.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, here's a big change of pace. Game number 3 we saw, or actually starting from game number 3, yeah, exactly. First ban, Diggy for Bren. First ban for Burmese Ghouls, Baksha. Now I think they're both running the risk and forcing each other, pushing each other's buttons. Brody and Natalia, supported by BrenEsports and Burmese Ghouls, with the Matilda and Selena. The cogs are turning, the cogs are turning.
They didn't ban out the Baxia this time.
Is it worth it though?
No. They played a huge gamble here. They were saying, no way Bren is going to first pick Baxia, because at least then they hopefully have a way to kind of build around that composition.
Unless
to say yes.
a trap?
It could be a trap in a way because Burmese Ghouls, they have 2 good picks that will come to their side. And they're pretty much aware of what they need to get for this. And that's going the Claude and the Yisun Shin.
That's all the firepower they need.
All right.
Ace and Ruby DD, happy to be of service.
Wow, so many guns and just 2 picks. I'm excited to see the second phase of draft because they need to negate every single one of all these members, of course, protecting these 2 marksmen itself. So what should BrenEsports try to go for here? Because we already got Matilda being banned away. Expect to see something pretty huge coming in the way.
Yeah.
I personally, I would think that BrenEsports here would probably avoid Yutsong, probably go for a. Farsa and Lancelot are going to be the optional picks that I was thinking of. But initially, I was thinking maybe they avoid the Yutsong and then look to try and get something that can jump in towards the back line.
Yeah, they don't care about the Yutsong at this point. And again, if you want back lines, few on the Farsa extends the backline and could even go for the sleight of hand, give it to Rebo, change up the mid-hero overall, and yeah, Karltizi can jump with the dashes. And yeah, again, this is just characteristic of what's been making BrenEsports win all this time. In the first phase of the drafting, they always focus on at least 2 of the 3, if not all 3, of the mid-lane heroes. That's the tank on Lusty, few with the support, and Karltizi as their jungler now. That's the tank on to maybe Burmese Ghouls pick up Jawhead.
Needing to actually get the lockdown on towards this Lancelot, they go in for this Jawhead, but late game Lancelot is not going to care about that at all, so still needing something beefier than this. And with that, Burmese Ghouls, they got that upper hand in terms of the picking up the second phase. It's taking a very long time here to decide because they need to decipher what actually activates this Lancelot before we even talk about him getting all the way to his back line.
I mean, okay, so for the Burmese Ghouls, I would be thinking, okay, wave clear, a kind of a way to say, hey, we're not going to give you a way to kind of just, lunge, and then get to our back line, no problems whatsoever. So, Loyi is probably a pretty good shout. The Alice is also pretty good to deny BrenEsports that dive ability in towards that back line, because remember, that Farsa doesn't necessarily have they have to go into the off lane.
BrenEsports, they might even have the idea right now to just go for a huge off. This could be something on their list.
I don't know. I feel like the Yuzong is going to be really underpowered here if Burmese Ghouls do decide to pick it up for themselves. If Bren, like, if Bren sees this, oh, you pick up the Yuzong, I pick up the Lapu Lapu. It's still a win-win situation for me.
But yeah, this is going to be very tricky for the side of BrenEsports. They need to thread this draft. Just think about it as walking on eggshells. Lapu Lapu was banned. BrenEsports, they really might have a Yuzong on mind.
Yeah, so BG should ban Yuzong right here. Now that Lapu Lapu is gone, it's like, okay, we can get rid of it. Unless Bren opts to say, hey, we don't mind you getting Yuzong as long as we get the Wan. And even then, it's like, all right, it's still a plus, almost.
Benedetta's still out there.
Again, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And it could go to Flap as well.
Yeah. No, if that goes to Flap, then what happens to Baksha? Lusty?
Oh, well, it could go to Rebo.
There you go. The gold lane Benedetta. This hero just goes everywhere.
I love the way that you guys are thinking about, role swaps.
Yeah,
How are we going to be playing this one out? Because it is so viable right now, especially in the grand scheme of things. Like you did point it out, 1-1 could be something that will be even more dangerous. And of course, already hard to catch the Lancelot. You don't want another plan B for BrenEsports to easily go into, not only execute members of the side of Burmese Ghouls, but they can't easily get away with all these three pick-off potential coming from Burmese Ghouls. So, one more ban for BrenEsports. Get in.
Harith, Lunox, also pretty good shout-outs here for the side of Bren. I don't think they would go for the Harley. Lori is definitely a really, really iffy, personally. I personally believe that is definitely, like, not exactly the best of choices, but it does have its benefits unless Burmese Ghouls, because I can't foresee what their final pick is going to be.
Yeah, mid lane is pretty open for the Burmese Ghouls. There's so many options. And yeah, BrenEsports, they just choose to go ahead and ban out the Yuzhong. So, BrenEsports, what are they thinking? They could have picked it up themselves, although, yeah, you're right. It's Flapteasy who plays it, so it's kind of a lock. Now you can really see how much BrenEsports, Coach Ducky, wants his players to play what they really feel comfortable with.
Exactly, and they want a winning lane, and I think that's the most important thing here, especially for the Burmese Ghouls as well. Both sides want to have a winning lane.
But I think Burmese Ghouls, they are a little more flexible. There's more room to wiggle around.
That's true.
They're more comfortable with so much more positions, so much more willing to listen to Panda and hear him out.
Really looking at a probable Benedetta, but that won't really be the best. This is good. They lack magic damage, and they get magic damage.
Well, do they really have something that they can actually hold a fort with, though, coming from the side of Burmese Ghouls? Because, yes, surefire power, that's definitely a great idea, but Jawhead right now has so much responsibility once he goes in, but BrenEsports could have possibly gone in for a free Harith pick that you mentioned.
I mean, I think at Bren, they've got a number of options. They could either go Popo Kupal, Loyi, Popo Kupal or Loyi, one or the other.
Oh, yeah.
They could go for the Eudora, which kind of fills up that position of that Popo and Kupal, but it's really dependent on do they want magic or do they want to have that physical damage. And at the end of the day, Harith, I think, is a pretty good shout, especially in the off lane. Oh, yeah, Savannah is still up on the field.
Oh.
That's going to be the tank for Lusty. And hold on,
wow!
It's Cho! Cho is going to be played by Lusty. Rebo on the far side. Yeah, this is, wow, how they circled around to this draft, the fundamental BrenEsports draft.
I like it. What about you, Butters?
This is strong from BrenEsports, but it has its limits. But
Okay.
Grok
Hold
is that answer, and it will stop a lot of people. It will stop a lot of heroes on their tracks to get to the backline.
Is this the violent Grok once more? Is this the Grok with high and dry and a bloodlust axe and a blade of despair?
I believe so. This might just be it, or you just want to set up those walls somewhere in between. They want to fight on those choke points. Yeah, let me cut your team into two, and I deal with one thing at a time.
I think it's going to be a 1-2-2 composition, to be fair here. I do think that the Grok is going to be roaming in between mid and the gold lane just to kind of clear it up to allow space for Yishin Shin as well as the Lunox, both of which don't exactly do wave clear that great until the later stages of the game, especially for Yishin Shin. But overall, I think this is going to be a tough one. It's going to be a real tough one for either side.
Yeah, just looking at how this is going here, Burmese goes trying to actually equalize the score to 2-2, but BrenEsports, I really do love the draft, and great shows honestly never go out of style. From M1 all the way up to its M2, you still see it in the grand finals. Moving in towards the land of Dawn here, back towards the caster's desk, and we will be moving in for game number 5.
And a lot of things ride on Few and Lusty's back. They have to set them kills for Carl and just let Carl do the work when he gets the items.
Let's look at the lane priority here, because again, the lane assignment, as we see Grok up into towards the top line, going up against that Farsa, and we can see Lusty already trying to disrupt that purple buff as much as it can, but again, Retribution still too powerful of a spell.
And he did try. If he would have picked that up, that would hurt Burmese Ghouls a lot, but it was still a flicker spent for BrenEsports.
Yep, and that's something Burmese Ghouls will definitely remember. They'll say, okay, we know that at least for 2 minutes from now, Lusty doesn't have a flicker. So yeah, when this first turtle comes up online, then that's one less catch.
You're looking nervous there, Leo. What's going on, man?
I'm just wondering what this Grok is going to be like. Again, seeing that it's on Ruby DD. It's the high and dry. It's the one that deals a lot of damage. It's the one that wins duels. And I love how high
And
high risk lineups like this are able to just swing the metagame, and this is what Burmese Ghouls needed. This is the kind of lineup that just makes BrenEsports think like, okay, I haven't seen this much in scrims, it hasn't performed much in professional scenes, and this is the kind of specific answer you need to be able to get these series wins. And OD using the battle mirror image against Flapteasy down in the side lane here, the EXP lane, and grabbing him. Hold up, interesting use. Interesting decision to put the Claude in the XP lane.
Yep, they want the Claude to get the level 4 first. I think that's also kind of interesting as well, considering what the matchup is going to be like here. But notice the way that they're rotating, putting a little less priority over the mid lane once you have Lunox starting to get, once Lunox does hit that level 4. So, again, it's going to be a different set of lanes here for the Burmese Ghouls to kind of adapt and try to be efficient with their power level spikes.
BrenEsports, they have been beaten by Burmese Ghouls with this Lancelot pick. Flapteasy trying to go for maybe. Does maybe have the flicker? Yes, he does.
Poisson's here by Flapteasy, not going to be putting a beat on anyone. Nice flicker in. That's going to be 2 knocked up. And Flapteasy pulls the double. That's first blood. Make it a triple. They trade out Flapteasy and Few, but is it going to be worth it? Because Flapteasy's still alive. Phantom Execution keeps him alive. And there's a triple for the Prodigy. The turtle still stands. It's only D here up in his own lane. Man, I think Burmese Ghouls made the right call in saying, okay, you farm up, man, because this is the hot zone down here.
Yeah, that was huge for the side of BrenEsports, and D's going to be using his Blazing Duet to clear the waves really, really fast and maximize EXP. But you gotta give it to Kaltisi, and as well as Lusty, that 3-man G Kundo literally enabled Kaltisi to get so far ahead.
And Lusty,
that's going to be a trade-off. Hold up. Lusty pulling a Leo Burby himself. That's going to be maybe blasted down. Another for Carl Teasy. Thank you so much, Few, for pinning him down.
why are you thanking the player?
No, I mean, no, it's the player who said thank you.
Oh, okay. All right. I got ya.
Dude,
But still, Carl, this is the problem for these kinds of Groks. I mean, Grok is strong when you're sticking to the wall, but then again, you need to get a bit of levels just to proceed or just to have the progression in terms of being tanky. But if you actually have that high and dry, then that means you're gonna go for a very violent Grok. Then that means probably a Bloodlust Axe would do, but you're not as tanky as you think sometimes you are.
Oh no, maybe he's taking way too much damage. He gets absolutely pinned down there. Even with the Smart Missile, it's not going to be enough. Ruby DD is going to be the next to fall under the hands of Lusty. Great setups coming all across the board from BrenEsports.
And Carl Teasy here just showing us, if you shut down this Lancelot pick when we first met, this is a new Lancelot special that I'm bringing to you guys right now.
Interesting clash there as now BrenEsports opens up this bottom lane. It's gonna be Kid. Oh, knocked up with the Way of the Dragon here by Lusty, and he's gonna be able to dash out maybe indeed, lacking damage still. I think I know what's going on now with this Ruby DD Grok. He's expecting that it was Bren going to be taking it slow, but so far Bren have been answering back with 2 or 3 people.
Oh!
I don't do much now. Look at this. Karltizi gets caught in. Oh! D is dealing a lot of damage. That's already the blazing a duet with a few stacks, pushing back Karltizi and the rest of BrenEsports. So far, 8-2. Less than 2,000 in the lead is Bren, and we're sitting at 5 minutes waiting for another Lord about a minute away.
I got to give it to Maybe there. He stopped Karltizi to getting the Phantom Execution over the wall, and that would have been so huge for Bren if Karltizi was able to get that double kill there, but he's going to do it one more time on top of D. He jumps away.
He's so brave, Karltizi, using the brush to try and pick off that Claude. And as you can see, the intensity right now, ladies and gentlemen, on the stage, they're just screaming their lungs off.
Oh boy, it's only going to get more intense from here. Bren getting some good timers here, and now they want to punish Kid. He goes for the Brilliance, tries to close the distance, but it ain't going to be enough when they're going to get stopped in their tracks with the Phantom Execution of the Toys Poissons to completely cut them off from that reinforcement. Imperial Justice landing in Ruby DD. He's going to say nope, probably going to use his Power of Nature to kind of walk away here and absorb all of the damage. But at the end of the day, the Way of the Dragon is still back up, and they get bot tier 1.
And D going for that mid lane turret. They will get it, but they had to put 3 people on it just to get it. I mean, BrenEsports, in terms of turrets, they're equal. BrenEsports is not getting a lot of objectives. It's just that they have more control over the turtles.
Yeah, and they have more turtles, and right now, Lusty gonna get blasted out, and I think that's counting ults. That's none on Burmese Ghouls. So yeah, definitely uptime on BrenEsports now. It's on their side, and the third turtle, 100% take rate. Butters, this is what you were talking about, right? Same turret count, but when it comes to turtles, Karltizi just always online. I guess this is what you get when you're trying to farm up on so many different heroes.
But Burmese Ghouls, they do have time on their side. That's one of the things that they have, scaling.
That's true. I mean, how long can you do this for? Because eventually it's going to be the end game mechanic that Bren is looking for, and that is... Wait, hold on. What? Something's going on towards the top side. Ooh, D actually surviving with literally 1% of life left. It looks like Bren still putting more gasoline on this fire.
But look at this, onto the middle lane. There is a fight happening.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be popping up. Even up top, so I guess we'll pick one of them. That's going to be off of Kid. And up top, it's Karltizi. Maybe he wants to go ahead and flicker out, hide into the bush. That's going to be the Thorned Rose saving
Look at Lusty.
Karltizi a little bit. Oh, Lusty's waiting. Lusty's waiting.
They're gonna do it again.
Oh, underneath, that's going to be the Thorned Rose one more time. Maybe gets it. Imperial Justice pins down Ruby DD, but he's A-okay. Charging up the clothesline from hell to clear out this way, but there's 4 members. Way of the Dragon by Lusty, and that's gonna be 1 taken out alongside the turret.
Oh my goodness. Literally one of the more beautiful dives I've ever seen coming out of BrenEsports. The perfect juggle of aggro, the turret aggro coming in from FlapTeasy, and as well as Few. Hats off to them. That was so clean.
And you can see here Few just staying there near that orange buff. They're baiting it so that they see Ace. And look at this.
Oh, the orange buff invade has turned into a full-on fight. Feathered airstrike here by Rebo, and now Ace wants to find some prey. Kid getting blasted down. Few gets him, but they trade out. Maybe gets the kill, 1-for-1 currently. Nice ejector to save D, and Ruby DD wants to go clear the waves. FlapTeasy maintaining the pressure. That's going to be the disengage. Hold up! No, D wants more. FlapTeasy rolling out.
Okay, Turtle is definitely positioned onto the side of Burmese Ghouls. They have the key points into the map, and Card doesn't care! He just goes in, look at this!
Way of the Dragon and the Feathered Airstrike! Oh, that's 2 down! Automatic for the Doctor! He's looking for another patient. Wings by wings up, Lusty. Gonna be knocking up Kid. Where is you going, son? It's going to be a chase, and I think he's gonna survive. He's just waiting on the Order of Brilliance. They're gonna let go. That's the last turtle of the game. Ruby DD still alive. Keeping him up is the Ancient Blessing. So far, so good. Burmese Ghouls good at keeping damage control in check. And now at 9 minutes, how long, Gideon? How long until one of their cores, D and Ace, can just come out and pick them up from here?
Look at Few here just picking up those 3 armors, and look at this. They're just casually getting it just because a lot of the items here from the side of are physical damage. And look at this. Ace going in. He gets the kill. Carl will be the first pickup. And BrenEsports, they might bow out of their first fight. But Flap still regening.
I was going to say that might have been the first plot twist, but Flap surviving. Gideon.
Yeah, Flap surviving, rather interesting. It does show that he has a lot of tankiness built into his kit, which is that
point those casual armors are going to be expiring, and now Rebo gets picked off from the back line. Flap easy, running for his life. He's going to roll out, and that's going to be an ejector onto Few, plus the Imperial Justice, keeping him alive, and now D taking his best here, doing his best to deal damage and back out. So far, so good. Another pick off by Burmese Ghouls.
Oh my goodness.
While Mount Shocker keeping them in place. Can Ruby DD come in with a wild charge? It is off of cooldown. They go for the conversion. Wow, Burmese Ghouls back in here, closing the gap now just under 2,000.
BrenEsports need to be very careful on those brushes. BrenEsports rather. Burmese Ghouls are masters of that ambush strategy that they're doing.
Oh, Flap easy rolls into 4, but here comes the backup. The cavalry has arrived. Ace knocked out by Few. That's a pickoff. That's for free. I think they're just jockeying for position. Lord down bottom. They want to take as much as they can. Ruby down as well down bottom. It's going to be D. Oh, wow, making quick use. You could have held your breath there.
Yep, and that's the thing. Their main team fight capability is coming from D. He is making sure that he's literally the strongest person on his team, and even Yi Shin is mainly acting as utility for a large majority. He's got to outplay this. Battle Mirror Image, he gets hit by one. The third hit, G Kundo. The Brilliance comes out. Lusty is going to get chunked out, but the Blaze Duet is way too early. Flaptizi is going to get right on top of it with the help of Few. It's going good, but maybe now all by himself. Where is Ace? Ace needs to get here to get his damage down. He gets onto Flaptizi. He secures the kill. It's a 2-for-3 trade-off, but at the end of the day, the Burmese Ghouls, no worries. Nothing that Bren can do to converse, because Carl TZ was the one who went down.
But now things are looking great for the side of Burmese Ghouls. Their Claude has items.
Yeah, all the more this becomes interesting. Ace here now picks up his endless battle. We're seeing a very, very small gold gap. Barely 1,000, right? As the minute goes by, let's check out the items here.
Okay, so that is going to be a Blade of Despair and an endless battle for Ace. D has the Wind of Nature, the Queen's Wings, the Demon Hunter Sword, and the Golden Staff.
Wow, I didn't realize how big he was. He literally has a scoreline of 1-1 and 3. Who would have thought he's already got 9K under his belt?
He does have an Avarice, and he got a lot of lanes on his side.
Oh, another fight occurs, though, and that's Ruby DD getting caught out. Way of the Dragon onto the Grok, but it doesn't last as long given he was next to a wall. All right. So far, Burmese Ghouls are getting better at this. Oh, nice ejector onto Few. Few gonna be dashing out, and in comes D, blazing the way into the back line. Few goes down, Kid gets the kill, and now Flaptizi looking low. He's not gonna be saved by the third place Poissons. That's gonna be 2 for free, going to the Burmese Ghouls. Rebo pushing them back. This right here is all that BrenEsports can do. Slowly but surely, we're entering the end game, and Burmese Ghouls, once more, we mentioned earlier, they have the late game in the bag.
They do have the late game on the bag. But BrenEsports, can they hold on? Now, the pressure goes back to their side.
Yeah, I mean, Bren messed up there. They wasted 5 ultimates just to get a Grok, and they didn't even successfully do it. Burmese Ghouls pull the trigger, and that's what they want to do. Waste the ultimates from Bren and get a free fight as they do it again once more. They're trying to bait Bren into something they don't want to take.
Ooh, Carl Teasy gonna use a Cyclone Eye here. Oh no, Ace confirms the Lord take. Nice combo here. Oh, the shutdown immediately on the Carl Teasy. That's 2 for Burmese Ghouls. That's none for BrenEsports. Do mind you, the Lord has already been taken here. And just like that, BrenEsports came into the fight fresh, but they lost nonetheless. Burmese Ghouls showing us superior positioning and target prioritization.
And this is where Carl TZ really just wants to get the kill on D. But D has the Wind of Nature. Now, Feathered Airstrike is going to play a huge role into this defense.
Oh, off. He's going to push on forward, and inevitably it's going to be okay. But right, they get a big shutdown onto Kid, which is great. But Kid isn't the main target here. Yes, it is a constant source of damage and forcing a lot of itemizations from Bren to go into magic resist. But at the end of the day, if they don't take out D, it's going to be a problem. And not to mention, Ace is starting to catch up in that target prioritization of becoming a huge problem. Few tries to go for the Imperial Justice. Is not looking good to here for the rest of the team. It's going into the back line. They're trying to make it work out, but Ace, he's on the run. Yishin Chin is probably going to go down, but Few, he doesn't actually get him. He's able to dash out of the way. The Traceless and is able to come up in time, and D is absolutely gigantic, taking out 2 members single-handedly, and you can see that Carl Teasy does not want to be a part of that.
And this is BrenEsports. They're playing as individuals right now. Burmese Ghouls. This is the superior team fight, superior macro play that we expected from them since game number 1.
So far, so good here. BrenEsports, until that Lord take, it's been their game. But right now, Burmese Ghouls, they put BrenEsports into a position where if you get frustrated, you're going to lose.
And I think that's what Bren is. They are frustrated,
You can see it. You saw how much Few went for the chase, and there was no chance. It was 4 members of Burmese Ghouls there hiding in the bush, even if there were only 3 and the rest were putting down pressure elsewhere. Oh, BrenEsports, they really dropped the ball on this one currently. Down 4 turrets, down a Lord, behind about 7,000 gold.
I mean, honestly, one bad team fight for the side of Burmese Ghouls could easily turn Bren back on top and just, really even things out. But the people who need to keep their heads cool right now is Lusty and Carl Teasy. These are the playmakers, the damage dealer and the playmaker. Rebo, he's been playing a very consistent game so far, but the problem is whenever they initiate the fight, they're out of his range of damage. They don't want him to force the wings by wings to get closer, because that puts him in a huge compromisable position.
Yeah, and now Burmese Ghouls, they are controlling the buffs here for the side of BrenEsports, and this is what BrenEsports did for the couple of games that they won here in the series. Burmese Ghouls, slowly but surely, just walking up to their base. They're not forcing anything. They're waiting for BrenEsports to be a bit impatient.
Somebody's going to have to make a mistake here. It's either Bren or the Burmese Ghouls. And Bren definitely, after making a couple of those, they've realized, all right, we've made too many. We've kind of lost the lead. We've kind of, put too much slack on this leash. And Burmese Ghouls, they are just waiting for this Lord. In the next 50 seconds or so, if somebody is going to get caught, it's not going to matter too much unless it starts happening right now at the 40-second mark where the death timers, you won't be able to reach the Lord in time after respawn.
Yeah, no kill here is free. No kill is free. All right, Few here picks up the glowing wand. Now they can confirm more kills. Maybe. I think maybe is the only one who can really afford to die given the pull yourself together. And look at this, a silent war between tanks.
Agreed, but again, you don't want to be the first one who dies. Few, he walks up because he knows, okay, at the end of the day, I can kind of get out. I have mechanics to do that, and it covers a lot of distance. But you can see that Lusty, he is hesitant. He's walking up and he's like, no, I don't want to be the one who goes down because he is so important to the team. That Wave the Dragon is going to be a make it or break it.
Look at this turtle. Look at this Lord, rather.
Yep.
This is the Luminous Lord.
He's up. Carl Teasy picks up an Immortality. Now the fight is broken down. Flap Teasy, Puissance after the ejector. We're taking it slow because I know that both teams don't want to pull the trigger here willy-nilly. This is going to matter. Whoever gets out of this, whether by a big margin or by a very small trade. Oh, hold up. He gets caught by the Imperial Justice. That's going to be the starting punch here from BrenEsports. And they burst down one. That's going to be Rebo taken out. They're not looking for anything else. A trade. Where do you find it? Few going to be flickering out. They've already split the pie here, and now Flap Teasy destroyed by maybe 2 for none so far, and Few is scared of Ruby DD. This is where Ruby DD wants you.
Few forced out of his base. He cannot join the defense. Ruby DD doesn't want to take him down here as much as possible. He just wants to not see him recall back to base.
Oh, that's going to be the Immortality pop onto Carl Teasy. No! Not even the Phantom Execution or the Thorn Rose will save you, ladies and gentlemen. Lusty is the last to go, and that's going to be Burmese Ghouls taking game number 4.
Oh my goodness, thank God that this is a best of 7, because this really is a great adaptation, and overall the Burmese Ghouls managing to punch back, and they need that momentum back. Bren, they need to get that momentum, because once you see them run out of gas here, the Burmese Ghouls, they start sniffing out, and they will brick wall you until you just kill yourself of frustration.
Burmese Ghouls have proof that this is a marathon, and now, of course, going for that reset, both sides 2-2. And still, we need 2 more games on either side to claim that championship title, but it's slow and steady winning the race. The race right now.
It's the form of these players. Like BrenEsports introduced to them a new side of introduced to Burmese Ghouls a new side of their play. Now BG, they are introducing something new to Bren as well, and this is where it gets interesting. Now the pocket picks are out. The signature heroes are out. What do you do now in terms of drafting?
This is definitely very hard to deal against, because now you have another layer in between. It's like kind of like a 2-1-2 formation with the Jawhead as well as the Grok in the front line. Then the Lunox is the one that peels through everybody, and if that's not enough, okay, orders of the Brilliance being popped down, then the rest of them come in with the Blazing Duet and the Yishun Shin doing so much justice. But oh boy, what a game this is.
Yeah, this really was a great game, and overall I think it came down to, you know, execution. Bren doing a great job in the early game, and then Burmese Ghoul doing a great job in towards that late game.
Yeah, they turned it around.
Let's see how they managed to get this comeback. It's time for the analyst, Wolf as well as Lefel, to break it down.
The equalizer of the game. We can definitely see that Burmese Ghouls, they are coming back to their own form, going of a full damage composition. They are looking so good. My name is Lefel, and this is Wolf. Right now, we're going to talk about what just happened.
Oh, this is definitely a good recovery for the side of Burmese Ghouls. Now, they kind of win games when it's kind of unorthodox, right? The Grok with the high end guy. By the way, I'm a big fan. Thank you for doing this. I'm a big Grok fan, and I've been doing the side lane, the off lane Grok. Usually I get reported, but thank you, Ruby Didi, for making it possible in the championship even.
No, the thing is, you just have to win so you don't get reported.
Now, that is actually
so
true.
If you lose, then that's on you.
That's
you know?
probably my problem, because I keep on losing and I'm not Ruby Didi. But kidding aside, this big stop that came from Burmese Ghouls was, I would say, I did not expect it at all. Because I'm looking at the lineup of BrenEsports, it's very standard. They have won with this before, and they can really easily win with it. In fact, they were winning in the early stage of the game. They are en route to their win condition. Unfortunately, their win condition also says that they cannot even die once or twice on Carl TZ.
Exactly, that was very, very right. And right now we're going to look at the itemization while continue talking about it. Speaking of items, right now look at the damage. Burmese Ghouls, 31,000 damage against 24,000. And it is one of the things that BrenEsports, they did kind of something wrong over here, where Lancelot, in the early to the mid stage of the game, he was a monster. That was at one point like 8-0-4.
Exactly.
He was doing so good, but the thing is, that's just him. He's dealing the whole lot of damage. While Burmese Ghouls, they have the Yisen Shin, they have the Claude, they have even the Grok. You know, everyone here is doing damage. But the thing is, Burmese Ghouls, what good about them is actually D. This guy, he made sure that the game does not end early with the Blazing Duet, clearing the minions, giving enough time, and then at one point, because of a very good ejector, they killed Carl TZ, and after that, it's Burmese Ghouls' game.
That was a big stop, as I would like to describe for Burmese Ghouls. I want to say, this lineup is quite scary. When I look at it first, I said, okay, this is incredibly greedy. Like, imagine in the grand stage, in the championship stage, you pick up first the Claude and the Yisen Shin. How
almost completely revealing your draft.
That is definitely revealing your draft. Now, it's natural for BrenEsports to kind of draft against it, and in a way they did. I love the fact that they played aggressively. They went in for the Farsa and the Sylvana, the Farsa being the side laner, the flap shot that we're talking about, but it lost. Unfortunately. Now, Carl TZ was also playing well. And it came to a point where they were winning so much. But the thing is, Burmese Goals, they planned it all along. What they did was take this game to a macro level.
Yep.
So they just split the map, cleared out the side lanes, take those turrets, and let BrenEsports group up as 4. Yes, BrenEsports were winning those fights when they were going 4 versus 2 or 4 versus 3. But the fact of the matter is, this guy, the MVP, was farming all along.
Yeah, D did so well with the Claude with a KDA of 219. Not the highest level of kills on a Claude, but the thing is, he did what he was supposed to do. He stalled out the game long enough, and then the thing is, that one death, that is the most impressive thing, because as we can see, honestly, Carl TZ a lot of times tried to chase out this Claude, but he was just a little bit too slippery, not get caught. And because he survived for so long, it becomes very, very difficult for Bren to push those towers and then end the game. So even just by not dying, he did a lot.
You know what? They went in for the Claude in the gold lane, which is, to me, very interesting. Why would they put Claude in the gold lane? This is actually a plan from Burmese Goals all along, because what they did was to really match the Claude with the Baksha, which is a hero that he can kind of bully in the lane. I mean, obviously Baksha will almost always win that matchup, but the fact of the matter is he will not be able to get the kill on the Claude. He will put him so low, he might bully him out of the lane, but the important thing is there's avarice on this Claude. Now, because he started in the EX lane, he got to level 4 so easily, so that the Blazing Duet will be available so easy, so quickly as well, and this allowed him to just move around the map, clear out the waves, and focus on farming and farming alone.
But anyways, now it's a 2-2. This is still a best of 7. We will be going to a short break to make sure that everyone is freshened up. So don't go anywhere. We will be back right after this. See you then.
Wow. chivalry is dead. I will revive it. I've got a bullet with your name on it. Way in the desert.
I think it's very safe to say the two words on everyone's mind right now, this game. What a comeback so far by Burmese Ghouls, making it 2-2 against BrenEsports. And hey, we are at a grand final, and I believe this is how a grand final should be. Both teams really wanting to take home the crown for their team, and I dare say their nation as well. Welcome back to your M2 World Championship 2020. My name is Joachim Gomez. Before I hand you over to Lysander, Lafell, and Wolf, we gotta say a big thank you to all our partners as well as supporters, starting with with Moonton for powering this entire event. Our friends over at the Singapore Tourism Board use the hashtag #PassionMadePossible. How about Skoga supporting esports talents and careers here in Singapore since 2008? IMDA, and not forgetting our partners Secret Lab, Tumi, SUTL, Singtel. We also have our friends over at Razer for giving us the official gaming gear, and MediaCorp as well as MeWatch. If you're watching us right now from MeWatch or at Cathay Cinemas, thank you so much for that. Not alone as always with my co-hosts Lysander, analyst Lafelle, and Wolf. Have you all caught your breaths yet? Because I've been watching this game with you guys. You were screaming, the casters were screaming, the players were screaming. Describe the mood right now that both teams must be feeling.
Burmese Ghouls, you hear them once again in this stadium that we are at. I mean, I just hope that the crowd is here to hear how loud Burmese Ghouls can be. And the other teams, when BrenEsports were confident when they were winning, they were also kind of loud, but not as loud as Burmese Ghouls. And here's the thing, this is probably one of the first times where we heard Burmese Ghouls this loud.
Yes,
and they're feeling confident.
I agree.
That's hope.
That's
hope. You know, they're hearing they were down 0-2. And now it's 2-2. It's equalized. And I think that is the best kind of final for anyone. Makes it look hopeless, and then suddenly there's hope. I think that's the best kind of feeling.
The
is that
story,
it's to the edge of death, and then back. But now, equalize. I think now it's time for Bren to say, okay, what's up, guys? Why are we down 2 points? What is the plan here, Lafelle?
Right now, as we can see in the finals, this is actually a very interesting thing where the team that is playing the more standard composition seems a little bit lost, while the team that is bringing something new is the one taking charge. Because as of right now, as we can see, that the teams that properly understand their win condition is winning. But a more important thing is that you know your enemy's win condition. And I think this is one of those things where Bren has been using the same thing over and over again, where the side of Burmese Ghouls, they can already telegraph. It's like, okay, they want to get Turtle, they want to win a few kills around mid-game, and then close it out before they lose their damage. So we just have to learn how to stall it out and then winning it in the late game stages. And that's exactly what we saw in the previous game.
Yeah, and I think this panel discussion, or this discourse discussion, we definitely need to talk about I think we need to give props. I think you as an analyst, you already gave props, but I think props to Bren, fighting an entire day, but also props to Burmese Ghouls for doing some out-of-the-box thinking. What kind of marksman picks support emblems? What kind of marksman builds off damaged items? That is something that we really want to talk about. Anything else stands out to you guys?
Yeah, the biggest standout for Burmese Ghouls for me is that they really woke up after that 2-0. After starting 0-2, you now feel that it is. They were playing different heroes, like these out of the meta heroes, like the Grok, for example, but they play it in a meta-specific way, right? I don't know if I'm making sense, but they were creative with their picks, but the way they play it, it's very signature. It's
space making, they just run at the enemy, feed a few deaths, but they give the marksman time to farm.
Exactly, it's like space for Ace, right, for the past few days, and now they're doing it once again.
Wolf, I want to throw you back to what you said during the first break. You said you're not too sure whether Burmese Ghouls could be playing. Did you expect them to win clean 2 and come back 2-2?
I kind of say it's not that I expect them, I want them to. Because I think I was pretty clear the past few days that Burmese Ghouls made a fan out of me. Because they were they were executing so properly, and their tactician, whoever drafts and calls the shots, I have to talk to that guy. I want to take notes.
Any last add-ons, Lafelle? I think the game is about to be ready in just a few short moments.
Yeah, so we've seen that the first 2 games, it was Bren all the way. The second 2 games is going to be BG all the way. So I kind of want the next 2 games to be a 1-1 kind of situation, but that's just me.
So we come back, right? If it goes 1-1, we'll come back.
And we're going to be talking about the final game. Will he go all the way? I wonder. We do have time for you to go restock on your snacks and your drinks as we hand you over to Gideon Q, Butters, Leo, as well as Contra. Take it away, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the caster's desk. We are going to game number 5, but before that, we would like to give our special thanks to our sponsor, Secret Lab, the award-winning gaming seats engineered for long hours of comfort and sitting form. Available in the Secret Lab official store in major e-commerces in Singapore, and you can just visit secretlab.co.
And don't forget that we would not want to forget to thank Singtel, our partner in esports, to unlock lag-free and ultra-fast gaming experience with Singapore's fastest 5G network. Keep calm and get the edge you need on your road to Mythic and MLBB with Singtel, the Singaporeans' fastest 5G network.
If you're still with us, thank you so much. It's been a long day, but it's not over yet. If you guys are watching the live stream event, you'll know that it's happening right here in beautiful Singapore City, and it's at the Cathay Cineleisure at Orchard. It's called MVP, and you'll be able to catch all the M2 action on a big cinema screen. What's more, you can also win attractive prizes when you take part in the activities and the lucky draws. MVP will be running all week long, and you can count the hours that's left in the show. You can get your tickets at the Cathay Cineplex's website, and you can also check out www.rsg.gg/MVP for more information. Shoutouts, and again, a huge thank you and a round of applause to everyone watching. You're sticking through. You are showing some support to our grand finalists here, the Philippines and Myanmar. If you're watching from Cathay Cinema, NUS, Sports Hub, and Bukit Merah Swimming Complex. Once more, my name is Leo. This right here is Contra, Gideon Q, and Butters, and we will be going into Game 5 as mentioned. And so far, it's been reset.